Hey everybody, welcome to another After Effects CS6 tutorial. My name is Buddy Blackford, and today we're going to be talking about editing and trimming layers. So sometimes when you're working with layers, you need to turn them off sometimes, or maybe you're done using the layer and it's overlapped by another layer. You can trim the layer or cut it so that it doesn't show up, or so that it doesn't render in the background and take up more computing power than you really need. So I'm going to show you how to quickly fix that stuff up, and let's get on with it. So the first way that I usually use to trim layers is come down here into the layers panel, and this is the text layer up here, and you can grab the edges of these layers down on the timeline here, and you can click on the edges when there's a double arrow and drag. Now if you need to really get to a spot quickly, you can take your current time indicator and put it over and hold and drag and hold shift, and it'll snap to where the current time indicator is. So now before the layer here, it's not going to show up. And this way you don't have to key opacity or anything like that. You can just have it pop on if you don't need it, like any fades or anything like that. So say you want this to pop on a few times, you can possibly duplicate it and just trim it every, I don't know, 3 seconds or something like that. Just move this one back, and it'll do like a little flashing thing or something like that. This is just an example, so I mean, there you go. You guys get what I'm talking about? Now you can also just grab the layers with the selection tool and drag them, as you can see here, if you need to do that. So you can move them around and trim them different ways. Another way you can do this is by coming down into the bottom left down here and clicking on this expand or collapse the in and out duration stretch panes. So we click on that, and these come up. Now you can manually type in, or so if you click on it, you can manually type in where you want your endpoint possibly. And this second section here, this is the rows. Or not the rows, the seconds, sorry. So this would be 2 seconds, and then you can see that the bush is gone, and it starts at 2 seconds. Now these timelines here, the first set of numbers before the colon, that's frames, and where it says base 24 here, that means we're doing 24 frames per second. So every 24 right here, it'll equal a second. So these are your seconds, and then it goes to your minutes, and then this is in hours. Same thing with the out. I mean, self-explanatory pretty much. So there you go, in and out. And as you can see, when I moved it, the duration is supposed to be 15 seconds. So when I put the out down to 10, it moved the whole layer back. So if you wanted to go in, or start in at 2 seconds and end at 10 seconds, that's 8. So you would have to change your duration to 8 first before you did it. So there's 8, and then we'll put this at 2. And this at 10. See if I did this right. 923, that's pretty much 10. So we'll just keep that at that, and there you go. And another way to edit is using this stretch right here. So I'm going to move it back. There we go. And I'm going to click and drag on this stretch, and you can watch the end of the layer move. And it just stretches it out. I hit Control Z just to bring it back. I don't know why I did. You can also right click, and it brings up your options up here. So I'll hit OK, and it's basically the same thing. If you go up to your columns up here, and you can see that they're pretty long, maybe you never want to use stretch. Right click on it, and you can click on hide this, and now it's gone. If you right click again and come down to columns, you can click on it here and it'll show up. And then there's other ones on here that, like keys and things like that. I mean, we don't have any right now, but you can see you can add different panels and stuff like that. And then just click back on this to take those panels off. One more method for now of trimming layers is to trim in the layer panel. So I'm gonna make this bush go all the way out to the end, and then double click down here in the timeline panel on the name, and it'll bring up the layer panel. Now you can set your ins and outs down here using this these little brackets here. So you move your current time indicator to maybe to 2 seconds here, hit this current bracket for the in point, and it'll cut it. Now, and then you hit your other, come down to the end and set the out point, and there you go, it cut it. So that's another way. Let's X out of here and set everything back to where it was by undoing. The hotkeys for trimming a layer is Alt and the left bracket or the right bracket. So I'll type that in real quick for you so you know what I'm talking about. Alt, or on a Mac is Option key, and then plus, and then it's these brackets right here. And those are how, that's the hotkeys. So I'll just do it real quick down here. Make sure you're on your click on your layer. I'm gonna hit Alt left bracket, that does the in. Alt right bracket will do the out. And most of the time, I mean, you would really want to use your hotkeys because it's way faster. And one tip is that if you drag your layers out past the comp, so this one's going past, and maybe I could do it on the end too, those layers will, or that time on those layers will be ignored and won't be in the render. Only thing that will be in the render is between the time right here, the comp thing. So the work area is what I was trying to say. That's what it will be in. So if your work area is here and this is all past it, then yeah. So that's it for trimming and editing layers. So that's pretty important. You probably use it a decent amount. You can edit video kind of this way. You can set crossfades, like make these go over top of each other, and then you set the opacity for this layer to fade out to the end, and then this layer to fade in. So that's how you could do that, or with transitions or anything like that. So editing layers is important. Make sure you remember the hotkeys, and hope you guys learned something today. I thank you for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.